Oh.
Unscripted!
Okay, in 3, 2, 1, action.
That is not my name.
Well, Emily and Antonia,
I've never had champagne, but I'm not a white lady, so maybe.
God, yeah, that's WORX.
I think it's really important for students to be involved with the arts at Austin P and in college and high school and elementary in general, because those soft skills, or what they call soft skills, are really important to building a foundation for whatever you're going to do.
Well, I think it's no secret that a lot of people in the communications department here are going to be filmmakers and actors and writers.
I've been working with Unscripted Laughter since the show started. Delaney came to me, which Delaney's the producer of the show. She's sitting right here. That's who I'm talking to right now.
Well, first I would say it's like the brainchild of LACEY.
things were going so well.
It was right there. And Delaney.
She's like, I have an idea for a comedy show.
I can't believe this is the last time we're ever going to see each other.
I know, but it's for the best.
The thing is I had taken an improv class maybe 2 semesters before Delaney came to me. And whenever Delaney came to me, I was like, I've been wanting to start an improv show. And she was like, let's do this together. I can't lie to you, some pretty bad stuff has happened.
You know, ever since Delaney was like, yeah, I have this idea, I was like, I'll do it, because like she's like the coolest. And it's one of the greatest things, you know, I've worked on here.
We were conceiving it and talking about it, and I agreed to be an advisor as much as I possibly could, just like the rest of the theater department. We are all incredibly busy, so finding time for everything can be hard. I was very excited about what we were able to do, because I felt like everyone was able to learn what being in a writer's room was like.
What if everyone talked like that? Or like there was one person that like talked like that and someone had to kind of figure it out. Like what if, that's as far as I've gotten with that thought, but
no, yeah, I like that. I like a dream sequence idea with it. It's like, what if like right before they go to sleep, like that day, they're like looking at their phone and it's like, oh, I'm just looking at memes, and then they like fall asleep, and then like they wake up and they're like in this like
meme
parallel universe. Yes, where everything is like meme-verse, and it's like everyone's like.
And Delaney was able to learn how to run a writer's room and how to make that work relatively well.
Basically, it's kind of like, I wouldn't even say it's like our version of an SNL.
Looks like I came in at the right time, because I have just a thing for you weirdos.
The personalities here are so unique. I think it's just kind of like this comic mind melding of all the people at Austin P who have like wildly different influences.
Oh my gosh, I think that it's important because, one, there was no outlet for people who wanted to do comedy and improv at school. There was none of that. It was just not a thing.
Are we going? We're going. Go ahead.
Oh, so sorry.
Sorry about that. Hi.
But it was great to have a show where we could actually be like, yeah, like we're not just good at talking about this stuff, like we can genuinely actually do it. And you know, it was kind of cool to have something to show to your mom and be like, hey mom, you know, we're not wasting money on loans. We're doing great.
And that's something else about Unscripted, is because it is just a bunch of people that get together that really, really enjoy making what we do and doing what we do, that it does, first of all, it doesn't feel like we're working. It doesn't feel like a normal set would. It just feels like a bunch of people that are able to get together and share something that they love so much.
Will you marry me?
No.
What?
Dude, we've only been dating a week.
As far as operating a writer's room, that works pretty well. And I think that's a really important skill for anyone who's going to work in Hollywood, because it's not just a writer's room at SNL. There's a writer's room everywhere.
You should all have pen, paper, laptop in front of you, so that you can be working on ideas while things are going, right? Because that's how scripts get written.
Television is mainly populated during the evening hours by filmed shows, by filmic shows, SNL type things that involve writer's room, involve cranking out content, involve being on that schedule. outside of the skills of an interview show or a news show or a sports journalism show.
Not everything has to be done in that studio. We can pre-record stuff and use that. So one of the things that we could do is like a vox pop, which is like voice of the people, and you can go out as a character and interview people as though like that was just your character's job. That's what they do. They want to go talk to people and ask them things.
Welcome. Today we'll be interviewing some people in the Morgan University Center. Stay tuned.
If there was a TV channel on campus, would you watch it, and what kind of content would you want to see?
Yes, and basketball. Drama reality shows, because I'm basic, so yeah.
I think I usually really like watching like comedy or like around the campus, like what you can do on campus.
I like comedy, so the funnier the better.
During the day series and like an after dark series, not like inappropriate after dark, but just like more college oriented, so a little bit of, you know, PG-13 comedy.
I wouldn't watch it, so I wouldn't.
Honestly, people have no idea.
Sketches, and we're gonna have improv games in between sketches, or if improv does really good one night.
Okay, well, we're meeting in a writer's room every week. Okay, we're sitting here, we're redoing these scripts and redoing these scripts.
Also, it's a lot of work for all of the actors to learn all the sketches, so improv would be a nice break.
And it's not just one person redoing the script. It's, okay, somebody writes it and then sends it off to somebody else, and then they edit it, and then it's a whole entire process.
Hi, Paul. Hey, there's Devontae.
Hey.
And then not only that, but just shooting. Like it can take an hour to shoot something, or it can take 8 hours. You know, we never really know how it's gonna be until we get on set.
Ready?
I'm ready. Pull me in.
And go.
Okay. I think I've heard enough, ladies. I have never even heard of a horse squirrel.
She even got a blimp, dude. Oh, I'm sorry.
Anyway, so.
There's no way we can have everybody memorizing like a bunch of lines every week, I feel like.
I mean, that's totally fine. And you can have improvs that go on the air that lead to sketches.
Mm-hmm.
So I think having the improv sections of the show is useful to help the writer's room along as well.
I just wish I could stalk and obsess over a woman without her running away.
Stalker is not responsible for any lawsuits and/or restraining orders against its members. Please stalk responsibly.
One of the problems that I run into the most with students is scheduling and dedication. They seem like they are two different things, but they work together in a very big way.
During this time of filming, we actually filmed on campus.
Like it's hard, and we're out there, you know, just filming in fields and filming in between classes and doing things like that. And that's something that it has to have a lot of grit behind it and a lot of drive.
This script was written in 5 minutes and edited for hours.
Come on, open up, you want a bite?
Whatever, man. I'm just saying, all of that footage was completely staged. The moon is an alien satellite.
Okay. Here we go.
So if you are actually interested in going into this field, you will make time to make the schedule work, to make things happen. If you really want to do it, you will find a way to do it.
Sometimes we get caught up in our own creativity and we're not really able to be put into a position where there's also like multiple people here who are creative and super duper talented, and everybody's just blurting out ideas.
I would say, like, and keep in mind, I'm the main example of this. People get way into their heads.
I wrote this during art class.
Like, I'm the same way with ideas where it's like, you're like, oh, this idea is funny. People be like, write it, and then you'll write it, and then you'll see all your friends there. Someone else pitch an idea, you'll be like, screw that, I'm not saying my idea.
Anybody in the audience, any suggestions? Any sort of scenario, situation, time, place, location? Oh, okay.
We've heard some ideas, y'all. Like, there have been some crazy ideas, bad and good, but the bad ones are even better than the good ones because they're just so funny for no reason. And I love comedy that is just stupid. I love a good stupid comedy moment.
Hate you, Mom. Here's an example.
It's a blessing and a curse, because you want that game of one-upsmanship in a way, because you want to make the funniest show, but you don't want to be so in your head about a project that you just don't make anything. And then that, you know, you just have no episodes of a show. So it's like kind of trying to reconcile that balance.
It's extremely important to build bridges across the alley.
Play me off, Johnny.
Or across campus, between theater and dance and comm and music and art and design, because going back to this idea of the industry has become so broad, so it's really important for students to have the ability to work with other departments and see the work that they're doing and how it can work together and complement what we're doing, because that's what happens when you get out into the real world.
I get the message.
I always kind of felt rejected from like the theater part of things, and I don't know, maybe it's just like my personality can seem abrasive, or I don't really know what it is.
Who am I? Say it. Say I'm Michael Phelps. Say I'm Michael Phelps. Michael Phelps. Say we're gonna win the gold.
We're gonna win the gold.
Say it again.
We're gonna win the gold.
What's my name?
Michael Phelps.
Smack my face. Harder.
Yeah, I didn't really feel like a connection very hard to the theater department like I did the comm department. And it's not necessarily it's nobody's fault but mine, I guess. But I just kind of, I always like in a way felt like we were all doing similar things to what we wanted to be doing, but I didn't really feel like I was learning what I needed to be learning just in the theater department. I've written for myself, but I hadn't written like a script for it to be created by other people, and so it kind of taught me to be able to like let go of the reins and let other people's creative ideas shine through, which has been really beneficial in my everyday life too.
That is not my name!
Between video games and animation and musicals and broadcast and voiceover, we live in a world where it is not as simple as theater, comm, music,
It's like downtown, but instead Clarksville.
art and design. Those are wonderful lines for a university to have, but the professional world doesn't follow those lines. And so it's really important for our students to have the ability to think that way and to work that way before suddenly it's thrust upon them in the real world.
I think what's going to happen, and this happens with a lot of things, is we're going to find a way to do a consistent workload. And something's just going to break out for some reason. Something's going to go viral. Something's going to be like just this amazing, stunning thing. And it's just going to have a lot of people flock to RCP and just kind of have this consistent workflow.
My situation with school, that's such a good question. So my mom, she got remarried in 2017, and whenever she got remarried, it like screwed up all of my Pell Grant and all that kind of stuff. I needed like $4,000 to be able to like go to school, and like I couldn't give the $4,000 because I hadn't gotten my student loan yet. So I was like, my options right now are to take a semester off or take a semester off, and so I'm having to take a semester off. And yeah, it's been killing me, dude. I miss school so much. I miss the teams.
Hi.
Alicia Lowen wrote like a really funny script about, well, I won't spoil it, but let's just say it involves chili in the grave.
Whenever the day actually came, I don't think that I really fully understood how bad it was gonna be until the chili was like in my eye, in my mouth, in my ears, like, y'all, beans, beans, beans everywhere.
Oh, she's like super dedicated. I mean, she literally ate chili off of a grave. She's like a funny writer. She's a great actress. Like, I told her one time, like, she's like our version of like a Bradley Cooper.
With comm, it's just like, okay, well, we need grip tape right now because this stuff is like falling apart and we're gonna have to like tape it together for this next shot. So I've kind of always vibed more with the comm kids than the theater kids. I mean, I love my theater friends. I think that my favorite part about it all is just the fact that you're not in your own head anymore. And I think that a lot of times we dismiss ideas as bad ideas. And with Unscripted Laughter, there are no bad ideas. It's kind of just like, okay, let's really hope that this turns out, because we kind of are putting it together as we go, because we do kind of work on a time crunch of just being like, okay, well, we need these sketches by this day. That's something that's tough, but also really good.
We're trying very hard to give our students those experiences that I had in Chicago and LA and New York here, so that they can get that and be prepared for where they're going.
Make it more fun. Ugh, sound like my kids.
The amount of time that I have now is like a lot better than what it was. Like a lot of my days are filled with work, and like whenever I come home, like, am I working on music for like 5-6 hours? Like, yes, but I still have, I have enough time to be able to do that. And whenever I was in school, I had no time ever to do anything. So it's good and it's bad. I'm a delivery driver for Soho, and so I can basically do a lot of like work while I'm working. So a lot of while I'm driving around is like memorizing different like monologues, and also like writing a lot of music too, like freestyling while I'm driving and recording it. Like there was a lot of things that I had to kind of go outside of the theater department to learn. Like Unscripted, for an example, is a great example of that.
I think everyone's a communications major in a way. If you have a lot of knowledge in the field, you will be a fool not to share it. So it's one of those things where you just look at other people's work ethic and you're like, oh yeah, like I should pull this from there. I should do this. You know, like, and there's just some things like where you're like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna do that. Like whenever I listen to Alicia's music, where I was like, oh, maybe I might have a good singing, but I listen to it, I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not a singer. I know I couldn't do that. So it helps you focus on, oh, like these are my strengths, these are my weaknesses. And then just like, oh, well, if I'm weak here, I'm just gonna work with this person who I know is strong.
Are you hungry? Starving.
Chili? Chili! So that's the way it works nowadays. I mean, it just so happens people in this department, they're the best at knowing about cameras and things like that, so that's what they specialize in. But I think everyone is doing this. It's just, you know, whether they realize it or not is up to them.
So I think it's important to, you know, not just represent your own university, but go into the arts departments of other universities. See if they need any help. See if they need actors. See if they need somebody just to be on set as a grip. Like whatever you can do. I mean, there's opportunities available.
Because there are no excuses. If you have a draft of something due, or you have a rehearsal, you could lose your job. Just because you graduate with a degree in insert thing here does not mean that you're going to do insert thing here for your entire career. You might end up doing something tangentially related to it. And it's important to foster the skills that are useful to do that related thing. Well, I mean, here's what it comes down to. You're never going to be ready to graduate, right? Ever. I could go back to school, and I would love to go back to school because it's this wonderful, safe, nurturing environment. You're never going to be ready to graduate, and you're never going to feel ready to graduate. You shouldn't be completely prepared. If you came out fully formed and ready to go, then you'd be famous, right? But that's not a thing. That's not how that works. It's like making film, right? Films are never done, they just escape. And that's kind of what happens with college students. You could never be done, but it's time. Like, go, give it a try. You're gonna mess up, you're gonna stumble. Hopefully you stumble and mess up in a way that doesn't ruin your career.
I am here for the tap dancing. I only brought my stilettos. Oh, thank you.
The idea was, oh, you get a degree in music theater, you go and do that.
You kind of train for what you want to do in college.
Every side's my good side.
That's even better. Baby, lock them doors and turn them.
For me, because I do want to be on SNL, doing a main stage production isn't really going to help me as much as me sitting down with a bunch of other comedians, with a bunch of other writers, and writing sketches that are short and to the point.
Can you go back one slide?
Okay. Like, they don't really train you how to do that.
So I was in Chicago and doing storefront theater and started getting into voiceover.
Just sit there and like, oh, okay.
Completely by chance. I didn't even know that voiceover was a thing. No one had told me that in undergrad. And that kind of helped me realize that this separation in the industry is real, and it shouldn't be. The reason that I preach that and I talk about that is because that's how my career has gone. Is this something you want?
Okay, so just wheel me forward for now.
Can someone help me balance her?
Okay, I can't laugh. You're gonna make me laugh. Oh my gosh, I'm so serious. I'm so ready.
Everybody does put all of this time and all of this work into creating these projects, and they're made by students. Like, students that are doing this because they are passionate about it, not because we have to, not because it's a class, or because we have to have it done by a deadline.
It's interesting. Well, anybody who's been in class with me knows my attendance isn't the best. Mainly just because I like this stuff more.
And it can't be for fame.
We're doing it because we're passionate and we love it, and it's what we want to do.
So what we'll start off with is getting the shots of you guys walking in. There's the place to start.
I just see it as one of those things where it's like, that's my passion, that's the thing I love. So as far as like my other endeavors, like as far as hanging out with friends, it's cool, but like it's just more, I just see it kind of as fodder for stuff like this.
If it's not something you want, then don't. But if it is, you'll find the time and the energy to do it and make it happen.
Velvet drapes and cheap perfume. You followed me in and out of all the rooms that I dove right into. Followed the moonlight and dove right into. You catch me dripping down the halls, champagne on the walls, expensive furs and French chauffeurs. You need to have it all. You keep your heart locked up so tight so no one else can see, but you can't lie to me 'cause baby I hold on the key. I'm not coming back, psychedelic, stick around a Cadillac. You tell yourself that you're done with that, but you're the boy who just came crawling back. I'm not coming back, psychedelic, stick around a Cadillac. You tell yourself that you're coming back, but you're the boy who just came crawling back. I'm not coming back, psychedelic, stick around a Cadillac. You tell yourself that you're coming back, but you're the boy who just came crawling back. Dripping down the halls, champagne on the walls, expensive furs and French chauffeurs. You need to have it all.
Security man.
Yeah, I actually need to go find.
Where's the
Somebody have scissors?
Scissors.
Yeah.
We don't have like two consistent things. Are you just gonna film it on your phone?
Yeah.
Okay.